Jason, you're just like a walking ATM. Pay the $9,800 for my boyfriend's coaching. My sister said this with a smirk after I sold my only car so she could follow her healing journey. I told her, you might want to check your email, lawsuit incoming. That night, I reported a $4,500 loan scam and uncovered nearly $90,000 of family taking advantage of me. Family, according to my mom Karen, always means giving up something. She just never said who was doing the taking. My phone buzzed again. The 21st ignored call, from family, of course. No need to check anymore, I know the drill. First, Ashley, my sister, sweet but with claws. Then Mom, full of guilt trips and fake care. Lastly, Dad, the tough guy, short and sharp. I dropped the phone on the couch like it burned me. I'm Jason, 29. I work 2 jobs, days at a warehouse and nights twice a week at a gas station. 3 months ago, I sold my car so Ashley, my younger sister, could attend some life-changing healing course. She promised it'd open doors and make her feel important. Mom called it an investment in Ashley's future, but no one ever mentions who's paying. Spoiler, it's not Mom. I gave up my trusty, dented 2010 Corolla. Since then, I've been walking to work, rain, snow, heat, nothing stops me. Neither does my family. And Ashley? She quit the course after 3 weeks. Said it was too much, her inner child got upset. I didn't get it, honestly. Now, they want me to pay again. Not for Ashley this time, her boyfriend needs it. It started at some family dinner I couldn't skip. I chewed on dry meatloaf while Ashley twirled noodles like we were in Italy, not stuck in Mom's cramped kitchen with that old, sparking microwave. Jason, Mom said, folding her napkin like she was sealing a deal. Remember Chad? Ashley's boyfriend with a man bun and vape clouds? He's been staying here for 5 months, trying to get his life together. Yeah, I said, not thrilled. Couldn't forget. Ashley smiled and nudged him. He winked like he won. Mom continued, Chad got into a fancy leadership course. Really top-notch. Ashley found it. Isn't she amazing? I said, swallowing my bland meatloaf and frustration. Dad looked up from his phone. It's expensive, but we thought you'd help. You've got that rainy day fund, right? My fork stopped midair. Wait, what? Ashley leaned in like we were best friends. Danny, it's just $4,500. It's for his future like mine. I couldn't help but laugh dryly. Your future lasted 21 days. She pulled back, hurt. Mom gasped. That's harsh, Jason. She struggled to adjust. She never even unpacked. I said, she tried. Ashley snapped, not everyone supports healing journeys, huh? Right. I muttered, sorry, I was busy hiking in the snow while you were at your crystal circle. Dad slammed his fork down. Enough. You're being unkind. That word hit hard. Unkind, after giving up my car, savings, weekends, and apparently, my worth. Just think about it, Mom said softly. We're family. Family gives. No need to say yes now. But their faces said I already had. That night, I couldn't sleep. My apartment felt smaller, my mind louder. Worst part? I wanted to say no. But I knew the fallout, being called bitter, cold, ungrateful. Then getting cut off again, like when I refused to co-sign Ashley's car loan 2 years ago. 6 whole weeks of silence. They only added me back to the family chat after I paid for Mom's vet bill, not because they cared, but because they needed something. That's family for you, only around when they need you. The next morning, my phone started buzzing. I opened my eyes, still tired, 21 missed calls waiting for me. You always have money, Jason. What's the problem now? 3 days after that family dinner, Ashley emailed me. The subject line, can you co-sign for Chad's tuition? No hello, no punctuation, just a photo showing the price, $9,800. Her message said, he has to pay this week to keep his spot. Don't stress. Don't stress. Like I hadn't already sold my car. Like I wasn't already walking to work in freezing weather. Like I wasn't scraping together rent from crumpled, stained pay stubs. I didn't reply. But an hour later, I got a voicemail from Mom. "Sweetie, I saw you didn't pick up. We're just trying to help Chad get back on track. You know he's got talent. He just needs a chance, just like you had. Remember how Grandpa helped you get that warehouse job? It's kind of like that. Honestly, I got that job on my own after applying to like 80 places. Then things got worse. They changed the family group chat name from Family Circle of Trust to Manifesting Chad's Future. Even Dad jumped in, typing, 'Let's make it happen.' I muted the chat. A week passed with silence. Then Mom sent a message, 'Jason, we're struggling. We had to cover Ashley's rent this month. She's behind again.' Ashley messaged, 'I hate this. I'm really ashamed. Can you just pay Mom back so she's not stressed? I'll pay you when I start doing readings again.' Readings? I asked. Yeah, tarot mostly. Sometimes birth charts. I hung up halfway through her explanation. By week 2, they stopped pretending it was a request. That Sunday night, I was half asleep, wrapped in a rough blanket, when the doorbell rang. It was 9:47 p.m. It was Dad, standing there with crossed arms, clearly judging me. Thought I'd stop by. Let's be direct. I leaned on the doorframe, crossing my arms. "What are you getting at?" I asked. "You're being difficult. That's not like you." My jaw clenched. "You drove all this way just to say that?" "I'm here because Chad needs support. Ashley supports him. Mom supports him. I support him. What about you?" My answer came out colder than I wanted. "No." He blinked. The room went quiet. "Sorry, I don't support him," I said. "I support effort, not lounging on our couch, vaping, and calling yourself a visionary." His face darkened. "You've changed." "I had to," I said. "Or I'd end up like you." He stepped back like I'd hit him. We stood silently. Then he nodded stiffly. "Understood. Good night, Jason." He left without a word. The payback came the next day. Ashley blocked me everywhere. Mom sent a $1,200 request on Vimeo, titled Fair Share. Dad kicked me off the family Netflix account. Chad posted a vague message on Instagram. "Sometimes the closest people fear your fire. Cut them loose. Heal louder." I laughed, bitter and sharp. But the worst wasn't the money. It was what they did using my name. Chad applied for a private loan with me as the co-signer. He faked my email, sent a fake pay stub form, used my social security number. Then the bank called me. "Mr. Torres, we're calling to confirm the loan application you made for Chad Miller." I froze. I hung up, heart racing, and called Ashley. She finally picked up. "Have you lost your mind?" I yelled. "Why are you shouting?" she said like I was the problem. "You used my private info. You tried to get me stuck with a student loan." "I didn't do that," she said. "Chad said he'd handle everything. By lying and committing identity theft." "You're overreacting. I stopped myself." My voice broke. "Ashley, I gave up my car for you. I ate cheap noodles for weeks so you could heal your inner child. I've been walking through freezing weather just to get to work. And now you decide to fake my identity to pay for your boyfriend's dreams?" There was a pause. Then Ashley said, "It's not that serious, Jason. It's just money. You always make more." That night, I couldn't sleep. I paced around my room. For the first time, a fire was burning inside me. Not sadness or frustration or even betrayal, just pure, raw anger. I realized they were celebrating with the things I gave up. That was the moment I knew I was done. It was the third Saturday, the usual family thankfulness dinner. Something I never agreed to but always ended up at. As always, I showed up empty-handed but carrying the weight of pressure. Mom greeted me at the door, wearing too much perfume and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Still single, Jason?" she teased, that sarcastic tone she calls love. Inside, the room was full of fake energy. Ashley looked glowing in a new dress, fresh from some weird facial workshop. Chad was cleaned up too, no vape, hair tied back in a bun, wearing a crisp shirt. Dad sat on the couch, swirling his coffee like it could erase everything. The table looked fancy. Silver place cards, wine glasses, a shiny centerpiece. One card caught my eye. Congrats, Chad, future certified life coach. They were celebrating him. He paid for that course, all except the money. Oh, Jason, Mom said, raising her glass. None of this would have happened without you. I said nothing and took a seat. Ashley leaned over, grinning like we were best friends. We told Grandma you helped Chad sign up, she said, getting a little emotional. You're the real man in this house. Chad smiled. We're a team, bro. You're the base, I'm the dreamer. I looked at him a moment, then quietly said, you took out a loan using my name. That's identity fraud. Chad blinked. Ashley's smile faded. Wait, what do you mean? She asked. You used my social security number, faked my income info, and named me as your co-signer. Ring any bells? Chad laughed nervously, but his jaw was tight. Relax, man. It didn't even go through. No big deal. You still tried, I said. Ashley suddenly admitted, it was Mom's idea. She added, you'd be okay with it if we just did it without asking. If I never found out, I said, voice flat and cold. I stood up. No yelling, no drama, just the truth. The room went silent. This isn't a family dinner, I said. It's a feast, and I'm the one everyone's been feeding off. Mom stood up, trying to defend herself. Jason, don't act like this. We're just trying to help Chad succeed. No, you're taking advantage of me. You've been doing it for years. Dad scoffed. Oh, now you're the victim. I looked at him. No, I'm just not your cash cow anymore. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed a folder from a drawer, and dropped it on the table. Inside were pages showing everything I'd paid for the past year. Chad's course, Ashley's rent, Mom's vet bills, Dad's dental work, even the laptop Chad broke that I replaced. I added it all up. $9,400. That's what I spent on this family in 1 year. Mom gasped. We never told you to do all that. You didn't have to. I said, you guilt me into it. Ashley crossed her arms. So what now? You want a medal? No, I said. I want out. Ashley's voice cracked, high-pitched. You're just going to leave after all this? I looked her straight in the eyes. After all I sacrificed? Yes. I'm done. The silence was thick. I pulled out my phone, pressed a button, and turned on speaker. The banker's voice filled the room. Mr. Torres, someone tried to use your details to apply for a $4 500 loan under Chad Miller's name. No one moved. Chad's jaw dropped, then clenched. Ashley looked like she wanted to disappear. You saved that? Mom asked, face pale. Yes, I said. And I reported it. You can't be serious, she muttered. I am, I said. I filed a full report with your names, Chad's, and everyone involved. Chad jumped up. This is crazy. You're making a big deal out of nothing. No, I said calmly. This is the first time I'm standing up for myself the right way. I grabbed my jacket. Mom reached out weakly. Jason, please don't let this tear us apart. We didn't realize how you felt. I turned to her. I'm not angry anymore. I'm done. I walked out without looking back. Didn't go home that night. I stopped answering calls. Got a new number and moved to a new place. Deleted all my relatives from every app and even made a new email. Started a new job and set clear boundaries. That night, for the first time as an adult, no missed calls, no cries for help, no fake kindness, just quiet. And honestly, the quiet felt really good. They used me for too long. Now, they can just watch me grow from afar. It's been 4 months since I left that dinner, filed the fraud case, and heard Ashley crying to Mom, saying, he turned his back on us. I never replied. Not after all those voicemails, fake apologies, or even Dad's last message asking to talk it out. Just us, no lawyers. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to build something of my own. I started small, doing night deliveries across Cleveland, quick and quiet. No one noticed the guy on the bike, but I was paying attention. I saw the problems, late shipments, expensive apps, complaints, and I built a faster, simpler delivery system. I called it dead weight because it felt like the heavy load I'd been carrying for years. At first, it was just me. Then a few more drivers joined, and I teamed up with a tech-savvy friend who handled the coding. I ran the business like a mission. 2 months later, we hit 100 deliveries a day. By month 3, a medical supply company asked us to handle urgent same-day shipments. One rule I made clear: no family involved. I kept a low profile, but word got out. A local startup magazine reached out to feature dead weight in their Resilience in Motion section. I didn't care about fame, but I said yes so people could see what I built. The story came out on a Tuesday, front page. From nothing to 6 figures in 4 months, the man who turned family betrayal into a delivery business. And just like that, the silence broke. Missed calls from Ashley and Mom, a message from Dad saying he was proud and wanted to talk. I smiled but didn't answer. A week later, Mom emailed asking for urgent help. Andrew lost his job, their coaching school shut down, and Ashley was struggling. They needed money and hoped I could help because my business was doing well. I didn't reply. Instead, I bought the courier contract for Dad's old store area. Funny how he used to joke about delivery workers, and now his business depends on them. My teams cover the area but don't stop by his shop. Work is work. 2 months later, I was invited to speak at a startup panel about knowing when to walk away. I told the crowd, sometimes to grow, you have to let go of people who never truly supported you. Afterwards, Andrew came up to me, looking tired. "Hey, I saw the article. You really did all that?" I looked him straight in the eye and said, "I did." He awkwardly laughed, saying he wanted to start something too, maybe help men going through change. I said no. He said, "You tricked me, used my identity without asking. That's over." "But Ashley misses you." I told him, "That's not my responsibility." And I walked away. My final reply to all of them was a blog post on the Deadweight website called "The Price of Being Needed: Why I Chose Myself." It blew up in just 2 days, over 2 lakh views. People shared it a lot, saying things like, "This is what happens when the black sheep burns down the house and builds a palace from the ashes." I didn't want their apologies. I just wanted them to feel the space I left behind, and they did. They called me selfish, but finally, I was putting myself first. It's been exactly a year since I walked away. Since they called me bitter, cold, and ungrateful. Since they said real family always helps no matter what. Now, I own 2 properties. Deadweight runs in 4 big areas. We're even talking to investors about a $75,000 deal, one I might turn down just because I can. And still, they keep reaching out. Ashley sent the first message, "Hey, can we talk? I miss my brother." She even sent an old photo of us as kids, me helping her fix a bike chain. I didn't reply. Some moments are special, but the people in them don't always stay the same. Then Mom tried calling. Her voice sounded weak, like a ghost trying to sound alive. "Jason, your dad isn't doing well. His stress, blood pressure, you know. We don't understand what happened. You were always the strong one." She left it open. Dad never called. He sent a short email with just 2 words, "Coffee sometime." I didn't even open it. When they finally saw me again, I wasn't hiding. It was at a work event held at the same hotel Ashley once dreamed about visiting. I was the main speaker, talking about when letting go is the only way to move forward. My picture was on every banner. Ashley saw me first. She was there for a workshop nearby. She stared like I was a stranger, and maybe I was. She waved. I didn't wave back. 6 months later, I got one last email from Mom. Subject: "We're sorry, Jason. We've thought a lot about who you are and how we treated you. We were scared, lazy, and selfish. We thought you'd never leave because you never did before. But now we get it. You didn't walk away from family. You stepped away from the expectations we put on you. We're proud of who you've become, even if we don't deserve to say that." It was the most honest message she ever sent. I read it twice and then saved it. Today, I live in a high-rise with huge windows. I make my coffee slowly every morning. My team works like a well-oiled machine. No more emergency emails flooding in. Sometimes, I scroll through old voicemails just to remind myself how far I've come. I never reply. Real peace doesn't need anyone watching. 1 year later, dead weight is still my business, but I don't carry anyone else's weight anymore. No guilt, no, just help us this time requests. I move forward alone, not because no one's around, but because I chose my own path. Last week, I drove past my old neighborhood. Ashley's place had a foreclosure notice. Dad's store was smaller. Andrew's coaching business disappeared after bad reviews. They didn't notice me, but I saw them, all still stuck, hoping someone else would carry their load, me. I got into my new car, paid off, leather seats, smooth engine, Bluetooth on. I drove past them, windows down, music up, not to feel better than them, just to feel calm.